also feel like you wanted John Bell to succeed because there's a lot of people who start companies without like the real support of their wife.
Yeah, have I ever told you need to quit?
No.
I think I would have left you before I told you you need to quit.
Yeah.
Like I would never ask you to stop what you're doing, especially when you're like it's something you're good at, it's something you want. I would never want to take that away from you.
Welcome to the Set Apart Podcast. Today is a very special episode. Not only do we have the Bell and John Bell, but we also have my beautiful wife here on the show. And it's a day that I've been looking forward, honestly, since we wanted to start the podcast. So we're excited for what we're going to bring. We want to talk about, the things that we were thinking about and feeling when we started the company. We had two people who had just gotten married, had just resigned from my job, and we started a company. So you're going to learn a little bit more about how that went and a little bit more about us and Isabella. So, we're happy you're here with us. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I know a lot about you, obviously, but the people around us and our clients and the viewers, like, they don't really know who you are. So I kind of want to start with that. I
feel like not a lot of people know who I am.
That's true. So talk to me about you growing up, like your parents, your siblings, like things that you used to do. What makes, Isabella?
Oh my God, that's a loaded question. I don't know. What makes me me? I guess what makes anybody is what they've been through growing up in life, kind of shapes and forms them to who they are today. I'm not going to go into details about my growing up times because those were a little hard. So, but definitely learn to stand on my own 2 feet and to fight for what I want and to not let someone control me. And I think that's why I'm where I am now.
So, but you obviously you have siblings and you grew up in Miami.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit more about that.
So I have 3 sisters, kind of in the middle, 1 younger one and 2 older ones. My mom's best and probably hardest decision that she ever had to make was having my sister Gabby and I so close. We're 14 months apart. But honestly, if it wasn't, I don't want to get emotional. If it wasn't for Gabby, I feel like I don't know where I would be today because we were so close, and to this day we are very close. Yeah. So yeah, it was a crazy house. If you imagine 4 girls, so a lot of hormones. Yeah, everyone was going through their cycle at the same time. A lot of stealing clothes, stealing like makeup and hair stuff, and then we only had 1 bathroom.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so getting ready for church in the morning was lots of fun. That's probably why I have the reputation that I take the longest. I don't think I take the longest to get ready. I think, the situation just prevented itself that way.
And what's something that that growing up was did you play sports? Did you what's a hobby that you had kind of growing up?
Yeah, so growing up, I did dance. I think dance for me was an escape from reality, I would say. It's another thing that really shapes me to who I am today. Other than I loved it, every time I was there, I didn't have to think about anything that was going on back at home. I didn't have to think about any struggles, and I was good at it. So it was easy. I was good at it, and I loved it. I really did. So
were you the only one that danced?
Yes. I mean, Sophie did 1 year of jazz in elementary in a team in the school, but that was pretty much it. But yeah, I was the only one that kind of pursued it hardcore. And honestly, looking back, my mom did the craziest sacrifice for me because she would pick me up. Well, for starters, do we name drop here?
If you want, you can do whatever you want.
So I told her I want to dance. I told her, Mom, I want to do ballet. I want to do ballet. I want to do ballet. And then she's like, okay. So she signed me up to do Vivian Toyo. I feel like a lot of people know who Vivian Toyo.
I have no idea.
You don't, but your mom does. I've asked her. Anyways, so she's just very strict, and she's like this big lady in a chair, and she has a wooden stick.
No way.
Yeah. So you go in there and you're doing ballet, and it's like
Matilda.
Yeah, she'll hit you.
No way.
Yeah, she hits your butt to tighten your butt, she would straighten your back, that type of thing. So I was there for a year or two. And then my mom's like, okay, like she's serious because she's
like you went
taking
through
all
that.
the beating. So
Yeah.
she's serious. I mean, it wasn't beating, but
Yeah, I get it.
she was like, okay, she really does like this. And then I kept telling her, I really like it. I really like it. So then again, I didn't even know about Miami City Ballet, but she took her time to like find this out for me. So that's what I'm saying. Like my mom really like, I don't know if I ever even really thanked her for it. So I went to a Miami City Ballet auditioned, made it into the school. And that was, I don't think neither her or I were prepared for the dedication it would take, because like as the years go by, you level up, and each level, then they're including more classes.
And how old are you when you started?
Oh my God. In Miami City Ballet, I was in 4th grade.
Wow, so you're 10 years old.
Yeah, 10 years old, and I'm doing this, and I have classes 3 times a week in Miami Beach.
And you lived in
Doral.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So my mom would pick me up from school sometimes early, especially like when we're doing performances, like the Nutcracker especially. I missed a lot of school. So she would pick me up.
Didn't you tell me you missed like 50 classes one year?
Yeah, that was high school. That's
Okay.
not good. So then she would pick me up, and then she would bring a towel in the car with my change of clothes ready.
Wow.
And I would put the towel in the window, like put down the window, put the towel, put it up, change in the back seat, and then go to class, the ballet class. And then we would do this. And then it was 3 times a week, the first level. And the second level was 4 or 5 times a week. And then it got to a point where it's like, we had to make this decision, like, am I going to keep doing this? Because I can't go to school.
Yeah.
And we knew that she couldn't homeschool me or anything like that. So that was hard. I remember till this day, we went outside the house where we're in Costa del Sol. Mm-hmm. There's like a little bench right in front of our house. And she sat me there and she was like, Isa, I don't know if we're going to be able to keep doing this. You know, it's getting more expensive and there's more classes. And I don't know how much more I could do. Because my mom did this all by herself. Like she had my grandmother never took me to ballet. My dad never took me to ballet. No one took me to ballet other than my mom. Mm-hmm. And no one took me to the Nutcracker performances other than my mom. I mean, my dad and sisters came to see me, but like she did everything. And it was a lot of hours, especially when you're doing like an actual performance.
So when does dance kind of end for you?
So that was the limit of that. I did it for 3 years in Miami City Ballet. And then from there, when it got to that point where it's like we had to make a decision, and she kind of told me that we can't keep going.
And how was that for you when you found out?
That was awful. That was awful. It was really hard, but I'm a very understanding person, so I understood the sacrifice she was making while she was making it. So I understood that at some point that conversation would come up. So when it did, I was like, it's okay. She probably did not know I was.
You kind of like anticipate, like you were like.
Yeah, but she probably till this day probably has no idea that was like that good at me.
Yeah.
So I was just like, it's okay, Mom, that's fine. Like I'm tired of it at this point. Like I kind of made it seem like yeah, it's a lot of work. It was, you know. Yeah. So then. From there, I auditioned for the teams in the school, and I was always in the dance teams till I graduated. And that was pretty much it. And then I did a couple like studios here and there, but that was all me. Yeah. Like if I did that, I hitched a ride with a friend that was in the studio. Like no one, like at that point, no one helped me.
Do you miss dancing? Yep.
I think I do. Sometimes, yeah, I definitely do.
Because sometimes I miss baseball, like your friends, and like going out there and getting like all dressed up and
yeah.
You know, like for like your family going to see me, like I miss that so much, and like I don't have that anymore. That's probably like I love going to the Martins games because it like allows me to like remember that feeling, you know.
Yeah, right. The feeling. I think I don't. It's not necessarily like dance per se, which I mean I love dance to this day, which is funny because I married someone with 2 left feet that can't dance at all. I have to dance with Jazz, your best friend, that is like way shorter than me because I'm a super tall girl.
Oh, you guys look good.
Yeah, we look great, especially when he's trying to turn me. Super good. But I just miss the feeling. Like it's more about that feeling because again, when you're good at something, that feeling you get while you're doing it, it's like almost like an adrenaline rush.
Yeah. So you graduate high school and, you go into college. Like, so talk to us a little bit about your college life.
Yeah.
And then where did I come into this whole college life?
I feel like I'm a wild card. So I didn't know what I wanted to do when I graduated. I kind of was like, maybe I'll go into education. I didn't know. I was here and there. What a lot of people don't know is I like my first year of college, I did it online, and it was actually like it was Bible college. Oh. Yeah, you knew that though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Moody,
maybe
right?
you don't know.
Moody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then
there's a lot of things that I'm learning about you right now, by the way.
Yeah, so I did that the first year, and I was like super dedicated. I liked it. I really did like it because, okay, the big thing about me and about us, I think, is that we're believers.
Yeah,
and that's such a great thing of our lives. Anyways, so I loved it. I actually did like Bible college, like going into it and really knowing.
Yeah, really
what I
learning it.
Yeah, like to this day, like I feel like sometimes I hold back because I don't want to sound like, oh, I know what's going on. Like I studied that.
Yeah.
That's just weird to me. But
maybe
yeah.
you really understood what was happening.
Yeah, no, I liked it. So my first year online, second year, I was supposed to go to Chicago.
Why didn't you go?
I don't know. I was supposed to go to Chicago to go into campus and then like finish
Where's
off
the campus?
in Chicago.
Oh, Chicago.
Moody. Yeah, Moody Bible Institute in Chicago. My sister was going there too. See, Gabby. Oh. So I'm telling you, she's like the biggest influence in my life. So I wanted to go there too and be with her. And then, I don't know, I kind of met you, which is funny because your story, when you tell it, it just you're making me sound bad. Because first of all, I had no idea that you went on a date with my best friend. Because if I knew you went on a date with Amanda, I would have never gone on a date with you.
Really?
Yeah,
I just don't understand how
weird to me.
I just don't understand how you didn't know all of that was happening.
I didn't even know that she was like, I'm going to California, so like please take care of Isabella. Like what? That doesn't even sound like her. Are you sure she said this?
I wish we can call her right now.
I know. I feel like we need to phone a friend.
Yeah, we're gonna call her.
We'll call her later. She's probably sleeping now.
So you stayed in Miami for like because we started dating?
So yeah. Yes and no. So yeah, we started dating and things were good. And then you obviously...
And how old were you at the time? 20, no?
No, was I 19 or 20? I don't even remember.
I think 2020. It was 2012.
No, we didn't mean 2012.
No?
You don't know when we met?
No, 14. Yeah, 14. January 14.
Yeah, wait, so I was 19.
Oh my goodness.
I was about to turn 20.
Wow.
Yeah, so... Or was I 20?
I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point. Whatever. So yeah, I had to make a decision, and then I was kind of like, so it's funny. Anyways, backtrack. Our first date. We go on our first date. It's technically a blind date. You know, I did see you on Instagram, and I was like, oh, he's so cute. Like every photo, you were cute. I was like, wow, like that's something.
Thanks.
You know, and I was like,
I thought you were pretty hot yourself.
Thank you. I'll take the compliment.
So we went on our. Well, technically, it was a blind date.
Yeah. Right. Because.
Yeah.
People could look different.
Yeah, but how long? We were only like talking on the phone for like
a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, we need to meet each other.
Yeah. So we went to Wynwood, Panther Coffee, and you came out with like this sunflower that was like the stem was broken and it was like.
No, really?
Yeah. In my car, I'm in my mom's car.
And your door was squeaky.
Yeah. How embarrassing. Oh no, and then I also had
writing.
that
I know because like
Sophie was graduating. Yeah.
That sunflower I bought for $1.
I know, you told me.
I only had $1 that day. Literally, I only had $1 in cash.
Yeah.
And I bought it on 57th and 7th at some gas station.
Yeah, that's cute.
So, and I always thought that you loved sunflowers.
You know, I feel like here's the thing with girls. We change our minds a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
So I liked sunflowers until I discovered peonies, and now I just love peonies.
What about that first date? We meet, we're having coffee, and we thought we were going to have coffee for, I don't know, maybe like an hour. It was a Sunday.
Yeah, but then someone just kept running their mouth.
Yeah, so I remember.
You talk a lot. I remember. So anyways, we're on the date. You were talking. I really, sometimes I wonder how we made it this far.
It's crazy.
God just really wanted us together.
But it was just crazy. I felt like I had known you my whole life. And like, I just wanted to talk to you, like how I'm talking to you now. Like
really?
It was just, yeah, I felt
I think I'm just a good listener. And
maybe.
you're very vocal. So
yeah,
maybe. It was a good mix.
So the date kind of ends
Right. It
at
was
the
just
coffee.
supposed to be a coffee shop date.
And I told you, hey, I'm going to church now. You know, so like, you know, see you another day. But I was like, you know, do you want to come with me to church? So right after we drove to church together. So I was
Yeah, you didn't even say I'll see you another day. You're like, you know, I'm going to church. You want to come? Like it was like that, and I was like, okay. I had nothing else to do.
that day I knew that like I never wanted like to be with anybody else other than you that day.
That's crazy. That's crazy that you could say that.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I
did go home, and then
Wait, hold on. The day hasn't ended. So we go to church, and then did we go to? Oh, we went to dinner that night.
yeah. So we go to church, and then after church, you're like, oh, do you want to grab dinner together? And I was like, okay.
That's crazy.
I know that is, like it's.
And
I don't know you. I like know you through text, but like I don't know you through mutual friends. I don't know your family. I don't know nothing about you, and I'm like just agreeing to all of this.
And we went to Crazy About You.
We went to Crazy About You, yeah.
And some guy, I literally remember this. Some guy comes
I
up
know.
and he takes a picture of us,
know.
and it was $10.
$10.
And
And
I
then
said-
they kicked him out because he wasn't allowed to do that. No soliciting.
I know,
And
but
then-
when that guy came up, I was like, oh, I have to capture this moment because I'm gonna marry this girl.
You thought don't say that to say that. You really thought that?
Scouts on her. I'm not a scout though. And we lost the picture, man.
We lost the picture. To this day, I think about that.
Why do you think we lost the picture? Like that was like that picture.
It's not why I think. I put it in a book. I put it in my Bible, and we went to a Bible study, and then I left it behind. And after that, we just never saw it. And then when we asked my friend,
and we got the Bible back, and it wasn't in there.
It wasn't in there. So
Somebody
it must
out there has
have
a
fallen
picture.
out. Yeah, it's somewhere. What's crazy is that we did like a remake of the date, and now they have a photographer taking pictures.
That's crazy.
They took that guy's idea.
And the other guy that kicked out.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So we essentially just started dating. Like I felt like I remember going to like my coworkers because they knew I was going to go on a date, and I told them, "Hey, you know, we had a great date. It was amazing." And then like 2 or 3 times that we had already seen, they say, "Hey, how's the girl going?" I go, "No, we're still talking and getting to know her." And they're like, "Oh, how many times have you seen her?" Because that was Sunday, and like Tuesday we went on another date, and right, we went to the Mediterranean place.
Yeah.
So we had already gone like on 3 or 4 dates, like within a matter of like a couple weeks. And then I remember Armando and Leo, they were saying, "No, you guys are dating." And I was like, "Really?" And then like that whole thing, you know, came so fast. What did you think about me, you know, in construction and working? Like, because did you know anybody else in your family in construction? Like, have there ever been somebody like that was kind of doing what I was doing? Like,
Well, there was no one doing what you were doing, but like construction wasn't foreign to me. Like my dad was always like doing stuff. Like he was a handyman. And then his friends also did stuff. And then I'm also, not that has nothing to do with the construction, but again, I'm a very like, if I want something, I get it. So my room, when I finally got my own room, because I used to share a room with Sophie until Gabby moved out to college, I don't know how many, you can ask my mom, I don't know how many times I painted the room myself, changed the room.
so you're a little handy yourself.
Yeah. So like, I mean, obviously like someone building a high rise, yeah, I've never known, but it wasn't like, oh my God, how weird construction. Like,
Do you
it wasn't
remember
a
that
different
time
world.
though of us, like because I was working night shift at that time.
Yeah, I remember I would go visit you at, what was it, Met 3?
Met 3.
I would go visit you at Met 3, and then we would go have dinner on your like little break, and then you would go back to work.
Because I was working, like 4 to 1 in the morning or so.
Yeah, it was something crazy. You did that for a while now that I think about it, because even when we got married, you still did some night shifts.
Yeah, that was that we had essentially needed like to accelerate the schedule, so we started the night shift, and I was an intern.
Yeah.
I was.
Were you an intern when I met you?
Yeah, I was an intern when I met you.
Are you sure you weren't like actually working
No,
at that point?
No, I was still an intern.
That's crazy.
And then, like during like we were still dating, I became like a full-time employee. But I remember, no, actually no. I don't think I was an intern while I was when we were dating.
Yeah.
Because I remember they told me, hey, we need an assistant superintendent, and we need to hire somebody in like the fall, and they couldn't hire me full time I was still full time, but like on salary, if I didn't have a construction management degree. So, but I was scheduled to.
Right, and I met you right after you graduated. Yes, so you had just started working though.
Yeah, but so I was scheduled to like graduate in 2014 summer, and I had to go to the dean, and I told him, listen, I got a job through the career fair at FIU, and these people, they want to hire me, but I need to graduate 2 semesters early.
Yeah.
And do you remember? Did I remember?
Yeah,
that?
I know this story.
Yeah.
You're
So then,
crazy.
So then he's like, you know, so I told him, what can I do? And he's like, no, there's really nothing you can do. You would have to take like 6 classes, 7 classes, like, and like even the summer do like maybe 5 or 6 A terms and then B terms. Like, it's impossible.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And then the I remember the professor told, like, the guy that was in charge of like all the classes, he's like, no, I'm not going to agree to this because I know that you're not going to succeed at it. He told me. And then I went to the...
Little did they know.
They
gave you the magic words.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to succeed. I'm going to succeed.
So I went to the dean. I said, no, I'm going to do it. And ended up like...
You did it.
I think I got like 1B and I graduated 2 semesters early. And then Suffolk hires me.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the greatest times of my life because I had just graduated. And like a month after, I graduated in December. And in January...
Honestly, it was like going good for you. You did all that. You proved them wrong. You graduated. You got the job, and you met the girl.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good.
I got my career and my wife in the same within 6 months.
Yeah.
And that was a time that I really, not that I missed, but like it was such an awesome time because I had there was like no stress. Like I was still living with my parents. We didn't have any kids. You know, we're just dating. You know, there was really nothing to lose.
Those were they were fun, and we would also do fun dates. I feel like I would really go out of my way to do some fun dates.
Yeah, me too.
But again, I don't know how we're still together.
That's
that
true.
Valentine's date was pretty rough.
We'll talk about Valentine's Day another day. So fast forward 4 years pass, almost 5, and the end of the Med 3, like the job I was with Suffolk, was coming to an end. Do you remember what I told you at the end of that job when I was thinking and like praying about starting a company?
So at that point we're married.
We had just gotten married, right?
We got married November 2015, and the job came to an end. I think like December 2015, or maybe January 2016, if anything.
Yeah.
And you were like, the job's coming to an end. They may just put me on another job. Like you were kind of like thinking about like, or you may even get put across the street, like that type of thing. And
on the job across the street.
Right, the job across the street. Yeah. They're not gonna just put you across the street. You go there.
So the job across the street.
Yeah, the job across the street, and you kind of like dabbled on the thought of opening a company, and I was like, yeah, okay, like. I don't know, like looking back at it, honestly, like everyone's like, oh, like, did it freak you out? It never, like, I was never shocked. I know you said, I heard you say it with Roby. I heard your podcast. By the way, I listened to your podcast.
Thank you.
But you
subscribe, please.
You at least have one person.
Yeah. I
heard you tell him that I freaked out. We need to clear the room.
So you were never freaked out?
I never freaked out. Never. You know why, though? Because you're just the type of person that whatever you set your mind to, you're going to do it. And even, like, if you're, like, in the rough of it, you figure it out. Like, while you're in the rough of it, you're still in the best of it. Because, like, you get yourself out right away. Like, you never allow yourself to be down there for more than, like, a couple hours.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And honestly, listen, you make me feel a lot of different things, a lot of different emotions. But the one thing... And that was one of the main reasons I married you, is because you make me feel safe. You always make me feel safe. You always make me feel like protected and provided for. So I know as long as I'm with you, I will be safe, protected, and provided for. So no, I was not like, oh my God, he's crazy. Like, how are we going to do this?
And you're never worried?
No, it never worried me. It's crazy because looking back now, so whatever. So you do end up deciding that you're gonna, quit your job. Yeah, we decided. Yeah, we you decided that we were gonna open the company, and the crazy part is, okay, we just got married. Our rent is $1,240 exact. We're living in Miami Lakes. We're super excited because we have this like super nice apartment. This is the first time you and I are both living outside our home.
The first time that we lived together was on our wedding night.
Right, we've never. Other than that, we lived with our parents.
Dude, I had never lived a day with anyone else other than my wedding day. So I get out of my wedding, I was like,
that was like fun though.
Yeah, it was. We're like,
I know. I felt like you're doing something bad.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyways, So just painting the picture. We're young, we're married, have this rent. We obviously, we have our necessities and our needs. You quit your job. I'm working as a nanny and going to school. And it's like, and we only have $2,000 in our bank account. And everyone told you not to do it. Everyone told you. And I remember you even like asking people for advice, and like someone even told you, why would I tell you how I did it if then you're going to take it from me?
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember you when you told me this, and I was like,
yeah, I had to ask somebody. I said, hey, I'm thinking about starting a company. Can I like maybe shadow you one day? Because I at that point I had, I really looked up to the person.
Yeah.
Not so much now. And and yeah, he told me no. And a lot of people told me like no. A lot of people told me, like I shouldn't do it. Or a lot of people told me, hey, I think you should have at least 12 months of like savings.
Right. Right. So I knew all this was going on. I knew those things, but you never looked worried. So since you never looked worried, I was never worried.
It's not that I wasn't worried. I was just the confidence in knowing that
right.
we
You
were
never you just never looked like it wasn't your like the thought of it not working out never like crossed your head.
I think one thing that maybe you didn't know at that point, and a lot of people don't know, is like I had already kind of had like my own like handyman business since I was in high school.
Right.
So like since the day
you
that
felt confident.
It's not even confident. It's from the day that my dad gave me the pressure cleaner and said, hey, if you pressure clean enough like houses and sidewalks, you can buy whatever car you want, including a Ferrari. From the day that he said that, it's crazy. I always had work. Like I always like 15, 16, 17, 18, like that. I always had work. I never like, oh my God, I was always busy, and I was always kind of like, every time I met somebody, I would say, hey, do you need pressure cleaning? And hey, do you need, so I always knew that there's always a need. I don't think that I thought that I was doing something special or there's something special about me. I just knew that like in this city, there's like a massive need for like a good person in like construction that can like do things.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's still
and do
like,
it right.
And do it right. And somebody that they can trust. So it's like, it's very like almost dummy proof in my mind. So I knew we were going to do it, and I'd always say like, worst case scenario, I would sell mangoes.
Yeah.
Because we weren't even making that much money.
Right, so that's the other crazy part. Again,
when I had a job, we weren't making like a killing either way. I could wash cars and make as much money as I was making.
Right, that's the other thing that's crazy is that I heard you say that you even had to like when you were looking for a business partner or whatever, and you and Foz were talking, and you once called Foz and you were like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna make rent, and I heard this conversation and I was like, what? I didn't even know that was going on. Like in my head, you had it under control and it was working out. We were tight, but it was working out. I had no idea that could, even if it was for 1 month, that fear crossed your mind. I didn't even know that happened. Like you kind of like sheltered me from that. But I think in a way it was good because it allowed me to keep motivating you. Because if you put all your stress and fears of it not working out on me, and then now I'm doubtful instead of like uplifting you. So I think in a way, whatever you did there, you did it good because I felt like I was always like pushing you and telling you could do it.
No, I think I remember the first day, like it's kind of like surreal, and it's impossible through just this conversation to explain to people and show people what was really happening in the moment. But so I resigned. I gave my 2-week notice. Mm-hmm. On that Friday, I think it was like the Saturday, we go to Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah.
I buy
your shirt.
I buy one shirt. We can only afford. It wasn't.
Do you still have that shirt?
No, and I could no. It wasn't even a Columbia shirt. It was like
the redhead or something.
It was redhead
because
I couldn't afford the other expensive Columbia shirt. Then we went to a kiosk. We got a logo, which we still have the picture of me holding up the shirt and And that
it was just you and me.
Yeah, and then that Monday I woke up. And I remember you asking me, so where you?
What are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Where are you going?
And I said, I don't know. I'm going to go. Do you remember what I told you?
You said, I don't know, but if I got to knock on doors, I'm going to go knock on doors.
Yeah. So I went.
And I was in my head, I'm like, what?
So I'm going to tell you that morning.
Where did you go?
Just start calling people. I got in my car and just started driving and calling people. But that day, you made me a video. And you played me that video on the couch. You said, hey, before you leave, I want you to watch.
I made the video beforehand.
So you said, hey, before you leave, I want you to watch this video. And I remember like like my parents and like my sister,
everyone that was close to you, words of encouragement.
and like all those people were like encouraging me to like. I felt like when I finished watching that video, like there's nothing that was gonna stop me and you because we had so many people behind us.
Yeah.
And at that point, I felt like so lonely, you know, and I felt like I feel like I had been asking people like, hey, let's partner up. Hey, can you give me advice? Hey, can I ask people for money? And nobody
no one wanted to help,
and nobody believed in us, you know.
Yeah.
And like,
but
and
we were young. Think about it.
But I know, but it's just like, but
still,
in that video, I realized that like those people, you know, not that I felt that nobody was with us, but when I saw that video, I realized how many people were like really like honestly on my side, you know, because the video was for me.
Yeah.
And I really needed it. And like, there's been a lot of people, you know, like through the past, like when I resigned and I went to speak to the president of Suffolk in person, Jeff Gouveia, I had told them, I said, hey, this is something that I feel like God is calling us to do. And like, I need to do this, you know? And like, I was crying you were crying to him? In that meeting, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I went with my boss and he told me, listen, you know, like we're here to support you, anything we can do. But just, you know, don't get rid of your uniform, you know?
I think that's another reason why I wasn't scared. Because again, and like, I don't know if it's the company or the boss or the owner or if it was how great of a worker you were, but like the fact that they told you that, like
it was a combination of both, but like the support that Suffolk had given me.
But that's crazy though.
And
like
that Jeff had given me.
You're literally going to them to tell them that you're going to resign when you're like one of their like top employees to start your own business.
I don't know if I was a top employee, but it's somebody that really cared about working there, you know?
Right. You really like, you wore their colors. You were into this. Yeah. You were like dedicated because that's just how you are. When you're into something, you're into it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like.
I was bleeding red at that point. Now I bleed blue.
Now you bleed a lot of blue, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, like the fact that guy told you that, I guess that also gave me like a sense of like security. I'm like, whatever, if this doesn't work out, he'll just go back. Because
we really had nothing to lose.
Right. We really didn't.
Like, we literally had nothing.
Like, we'll go back to our parents' house?
Yeah, exactly. That was like 2 months ago.
I know.
And I think that's was great about like the timing of it, because we like started like at the bottom.
That was a good thing. And then it also was like a...
Yeah, but it made us, you know, really who it is.
Yeah.
But like we don't like my parents, like they love me so much, and they've always, honestly, they've given us the most that they could, you know. Mm-hmm. But like I remember, like, you know, now I want to celebrate and we're going to like the fanciest restaurant, like, you know, Carbone, whatever it's called, or LPM, and like at that point we were going to like Piccadilly and like, you know, Tony Roma's, and it just comes to show like they were giving their all, you know, at that point. But we also didn't come from like a lot, you know. They're, you know, they had refugees essentially, like starting this their life in a new country, learning a new language, like everything that they did. And I never felt like, I don't know about you, but like I felt like they were always giving me like their all, you know, knowing that, you know, I knew that other kids had more because I went to private school growing up, so I knew that people had more. But it was kind of like you know, like in the Bible, the story of like, you know, the person that gave like, you know, 10 cents or whatever. But Jesus knew that was all that she had. You know, she had. And he knew like it was her heart, you know, that was the most important thing. And, you know, that's something that, you know, that it's kind of hard because, you know, they say like, you know, tough times make strong men, you know, but, you know, easy times make weak men. And that really worries me, like about like Jack and stuff, because, you know, I'm essentially who I am because of the struggles that I went through and the things that my parents couldn't give us and the struggles of like that we're talking about right now. And I think it's just important, like as parents, you know, to really keep that in mind, because they always say like the first generation, like, you know, starts it, the second generation creates the wealth, and then the third generation loses it. Yeah. You know, and you know, my prayer is that Jack doesn't like lose it, you know, that he continues to like. Yeah. Were you like, did your family kind of, can you kind of relate to that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can. Growing up, it's the same thing. Like for us, it was a special night was going to Macaroni Grill. And then I remember I was telling you earlier, I was like, because we kind of talked about this. I was like, I remember like Macaroni Grill and Doral and Red Lobster were right across each other in the street. And then Red Lobster was like, we can't touch Red Lobster. It's like, it was like way too expensive. But it's funny, like looking back now, it's like I've never eaten a Red Lobster. Now I'm like, I don't think I ever want to eat a Red Lobster. But it's crazy, like the standards we had back then and now I'm like, Jack is like living this like bougie life. He's he's eating lunch at Neiman Marcus. Like, what is going on here? Like, should we back up, like step down a little bit?
Yeah.
But yeah, I could relate. I could and I can't almost in a sense because like I did like a part of me when you see all these other people with like way more than you, like it's easy to say like, oh yeah, that toughened me up into who I am today. But in another sense,
it broke you.
It breaks you, and you're sad and you're depressed. And think about it, you're a child. You're 10 years old, 7 years old, whatever, like 12, whatever it is.
And your mom's saying, hey, we can't do any more ballet.
That or whatever it is, like where you're eating or this and that, and other people can afford way more, or like whatever phone they have or whatever clothes, like even like the brand of the clothes was like a big thing for girls. I don't know if it was for you guys too, but like all those things, and our parents like had to sacrifice and like extra just to get us Hollister and Abercrombie, like what I'm saying. So yeah, I mean it definitely shapes us, but it definitely like it's a positive thing. But I kind of like looking back, I feel bad for that girl.
Yeah. Because I feel like the same sacrifices that our parents made, I also feel like we've made, so many sacrifices to get to where we are. Like, I think one of the reasons that me and you have lasted, as a couple, especially during like the difficult times, and John Bell has gotten to where it's at, is because the sacrifices that me and you and like even Foz, Iram, like the core group, like from like the very, very beginning, from like the 2016 days when it was like, we didn't have an office. We didn't have, like, we only had one employee. Like, it was just such a tough time where, like, we were in Foz's office, and we were literally living with somebody in their living room. Like, I don't think that really people understand, like.
Yeah, but so going back, we kind of went from one conversation to the other, but going back to, like, the beginning and being scared and all that stuff, and the sacrifices we made. So, like, yeah, it was easy, like, trusting you, but then also, like, starting the company was easy because we were young, but it was also at one point, like, I feel like once it took off, or not took off, but
it had momentum.
Once it had momentum and it was kind of, like, starting to actually have a foundation, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't, like, just, like you were literally on a surfboard with waves, like, not knowing where what's going to happen and where you're going to land. But once you had Foz in the mix, and once like you guys actually had a foundation where you wanted this to go, and now you guys were both really grinding, you weren't like home as much. It was like you were out in the streets trying to find work. Yeah. And I think at that point, and I think it's okay to be honest.
Yeah, this is the honest podcast.
Yeah. No, because you know what? Because we could paint a picture that we're perfect and we're not. And at that point, it was hard. And I think at that point, would you agree and say like at that point, like, that's where it put a strain in our relationship, like that time?
Well, I definitely feel like that our relationship now is the strongest that it's ever been. And I feel like our relationship was the worst, not even the weakest, but the worst was like during that time. And we've gone through like really bad times together. And it's hard for me, like, when to give, not credit, but like to give up anything of this company, like anything, because it means so much to me. But I've fought for this, like I almost lost the person that I loved the most because of this company, like I was willing to do anything that it took for John Bell to succeed. And I really thank God that like we went through that. And but a lot of that had to do with the sacrifices that me and you made, and specifically that you made, because people sometimes say, look, Isabella has it so good, and, and all that. And the reality is like, they don't realize that like, we were like.
We suffered before we got here.
Yeah, like we don't come from money. We had like, nobody was helping us. Like John Bell's a made up name, like we didn't buy, we didn't buy John Bell.
You didn't inherit it.
We didn't inherit it. Like that we are John Bell, so it's like.
And we put in the work, like even like then, like it's so funny because I feel like everyone like titles us like, oh, power couple, or like they'll call us for advice, and they're like, oh, you guys are like the marriage counselors and this and that. I'm like, we're far from it, first of all. But yes, we have gone to marriage counseling, and it's great. I think every couple, even the best couple in the world, should go to marriage counseling. Like it's good. And we knew that we wanted to make this work. We wanted to make everything work, so we put in the work.
But I also feel like you wanted John Bell to succeed because there's a
I
lot of
did.
people
I
who start
never-
companies without like the real support of their wife.
Yeah, have I ever told you need to quit?
No.
I think I would have left you before I told you you need to quit.
Yeah.
Like I would never ask you to stop what you're doing, especially when you're like it's something you're good at, it's something you want. I would never want to take that away from you. And I think like, and that goes for everything like in our life and relationship. Like if your passion or you really want to go fishing or like you guys do a lot of like lobster season, mini season, you guys go down with the boys for like 3-4 days. Have I ever told you no? Don't go to mini season.
Yeah.
Like I've never been like that. Like
I just feel also I feel like we know our role, you know, like
right. Yes.
you know, we know like our boundaries, you know, like
Yeah, we're definitely
we know now because before we didn't know.
Right, we learned and now we communicate a lot. I think like a big thing about our relationship is that we don't hold anything back. Like even if it's gonna offend the other.
I hold a lot more back than you.
Sorry.
But honestly, I really I like for somebody like me that's like crazy, you know, like in the sense of like I just do things and I go, you know, ham at them.
Right.
You really are somebody that's kind of like always, you, Foz, and Jazz are like always like the ones that like kind of keep me like in the corral before like the bull goes, you know, crazy at the rodeo.
It's a big bull. You need 3 people to tame you.
But I really am very thankful for you and for Foz and Jazz because, you know, you guys really understand me and you guys, you know, you've never let me, you know, you've never hindered me. You know, you've always supported me and you've always been there for me. And we wouldn't really be here, you know, if it wasn't for you.
Well, you know what? That's a lot. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I don't think we would be here if it wasn't for you. Because at the end of the day, you have put in we both have put in work and sacrifice. But I don't think, it's crazy because everyone that meets you is like, whoa, you did this? Like, what? Bro, like, congratulations. Like, handshake. Wow, Papo, look where you are. Like, there's always like these, you know, and I'm always like, yeah, like, but I always.
Why do you think that is
would.
though? Because I feel that a lot of it has to do with me. Like, you know, to say that it's not, it's a lie. You know, it's like trying to be like, you know, humble, but like, you know, bullshitty. But a lot of it has to do with like I was talking about like with you and like Foz and Jazz and Iram and like and our honestly like our entire team. Like our team is so good right now, you know, and it's taken so long. Like we've lost people, we've brought people, and like it's like little by little, like and I've also gone learning. You know, I've lost people that unfortunately I wish I wouldn't have lost. You know,
right.
There's people that I wish they were here. You know, because of those people, like we wouldn't be here where we are. You know, but like you get sucked into like this vacuum. You know, and it's like. John Bell's like it's so demanding, you know, and like we've been called like to really set ourselves apart, and you almost have to become somebody you're not to do something that you can't, you know. So that really takes a lot from me, and it makes like that's why Sundays are so difficult because I know that Monday's coming, and I know that I have to become somebody that I really don't want to be, but then when I'm in it. That's it. Like we're just going, and I'm very thankful for the team. How do you feel like we're doing now as a, you know, John Bell as a whole?
I think you guys are doing great. I think.
Did you think that we were gonna be here at this stage?
Yeah, I did, and I feel like not that I have high hopes, but like, again, like just the way you are as a person, like you don't stop. And once you get what you want something else and you go after it. And once you get that, you want something else. And it's like, you're constantly going. And I think you and Foz, I tell you this a lot, like Foz deserves a lot of credit for a lot of things. You and Foz are very different, but you're both the same in the sense, like when each of you individually want something, you guys get it. Like you guys will do anything to go and get it. And that's why I think you are where you are today. And I mean, like, yeah, looking around, I'm kind of like, wow, like look where we are. We're so young. Like this is crazy. It's amazing. And thank God, like at the end of the day, I just think, you know, you've said it in your story. I know your story, but God called you to do this. So why wouldn't you be here?
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate that, baby. I love you very much.
Thanks.
I wish I could give you a kiss.
I love you.
there's something that we've always kind of been on the same page in the company, but I don't think we've been always at the exact same page, because some things, like we're talking about, like I wanted to start a company, you weren't there. It's like you've always done your best to get there, you know?
I meet you there.
Yeah, you'll meet me there. You meet me at the top.
Yeah.
Where do you want us to go as a company?
That's a loaded question. Where do I want you to go? I mean, I want you to go wherever you want to go. As high as you want to reach, I'll follow you there, kind of thing. It sounds cheesy, but it's the truth. There's no specific, like, I don't know. There's no like dollar amount that I'm trying to like pinpoint saying this is where I want you to go when you get to this many millions to jobs, whatever, or like when you build this, or there's like nothing like that. I think at the end of the day, all I want for you and for us and for everyone here in John Bell is for everyone to be happy, to be in a good workspace where you do feel like the presence of God here, and like at the end of the day, God, Oscar's morals and Oscar's beliefs, where they stand and where our foundation and John Bell's foundation was built upon, and that whatever it is, like wherever it is we do go, it's because that's where God intended it. At the end of the day, only God knows where it's going to go, because he's the one that told you to start this to begin with. So wherever it is that it's going, that's where it's meant to be.
I don't really know how to respond to that, but
Okay, well, what advice would you have for someone? Because we spoke about us, and I feel like in the first podcast, you kind of already touched the basis of like, how we got to where we are right now. We went through our struggles, but we built each other back up. So knowing everything you know now, what advice would you give someone your age wanting to start a company? Like exactly who you were when you wanted to start the company and everyone was saying no. If you were that one person that was going to actually give this man or woman an advice, what advice would you give them?
Well, the number one thing is that they really have to really come to grips and make sure that it means everything to them, that they're willing to lose everything to gain, just 10% of what they want. I mean, because I feel like a lot of people, they want, like, there's like lyric, that like I chase the fame, or, I'll chase the money, whatever. Like if you're doing it for money or you're doing it for fame, you're doing it for the wrong reason. Mm-hmm. So really to like analyze it, like, why am I doing this? Like, why is it that I'm trying to either start a company or do whatever I'm trying to do, and really try to like fill a need, because at the end of the day, one of the things that we were doing was trying to fill a need. Like there's not a lot of good GCs in the city. Mm-hmm. And if we can just like do what we say, show up on time, just do good quality work and, really set like ourselves apart, through our core values of like set apart, teamwork, excellence, and pride, like it's like almost like it's bulletproof. Like you really can't fail. If you show up on time, you do what you say you're going to do, and you do good quality work, like why wouldn't you grow as a company? You would have to do something like really wrong or really messed up, or just give up for it to fail. So just really understanding, why, if you're the one that's doing it, I'd say like, but why you want to do this? No, because I'm looking for something to do on the side. Like I would never like, that's not a reason to do it. Like, oh no, I'm just looking to make a little bit extra money, or no, it's just because I'm trying to prove my parents wrong, or like those reasons are not reasons to like, because when the going gets tough, like you really, really, really got to get tough. And it gets like very depressing. It gets very lonely. There's a lot of days that like, not that, well, I do feel like giving up sometimes, and I feel like quitting, but I can't, and you really just have to make sure that you're really willing to go to the dogfight, because there's going to be times that are really going to like, really stress you out, and they're really going to be very difficult times, and you got to be willing to go through them. And if you're not willing to go through them, at the beginning, then you're definitely not going to go, you're not going to be willing to go through them at the end. So just make sure that it's something that you really want to do, that that you really have a calling for it, that there's a need, and that you're good at. A lot of people go into business doing things that they're not good at. You know, that's like we talked about in the first episode with Roby. Like people love to do something, and then they do it. But if just because you love it doesn't mean that you should do it. You should love to do something and be good at it to do it. And a lot of people,
what if it's something you like but you're not good at it?
Then you shouldn't do it. You can. because it's just like, especially if you're trying to start a business,
Right.
you know, if it's something that's just something you're trying to like get at,
Right, like a hobby or something like that.
you're trying to like, you know, scratch the itch, and then you should do it, because there's a lot of people that love, let's say, I don't know, to fish or to dance or to draw.
Right.
And they're not good at it. There's
Right,
like people
right.
that we know that they're terrible like artists, but they love to do it. But don't start a business because of that. Because at the end of the day, you need to make money, you know, like, you know, you like money is how like, you know, life goes around here. But to start a business, I think you have to love something and be good at it. So that's my answer. But listen, we've gone through so many different things, and not only on this podcast, but like in life together. And we've gotten married, we've started the company, you know, we've bought a house, you know, we built a house, you know, we've had kids, you know, we have our son, Jack, like, you know, the
Kid.
yeah, we're kid.
Not kids.
The roller coaster that we're on, like, I wouldn't want to have this roller coaster with anybody else.
Yeah.
And I love you like so much, and I can't. You're like my biggest support system. You're always there for me, and you're always somebody it's always like I can't imagine like a bigger support system than you. And I wouldn't be able to like wake up every day, or even go to sleep every night, you know, knowing that like you never have doubted me, you've never worried about me, you know, you've just like loved me and like served me. So it takes like a machine. It takes so much to run this company and to lead this company, but it takes so much for somebody to support that person. And if it wasn't for the role that you play as a mother and as a wife and somebody that really like takes care of like honestly everything, you're extremely underrated in your capacity. And you know, I see you as just as stressed out as me sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, just because you're not in this like professional, you know, job, you know, as a CEO, like that doesn't mean shit. You know, at the end of the day, like what you do is something that's amazing. And I think that, you know, if John Bell ever makes it to where I wanted to make it, I know it's going to be because of you and the support that we have behind us. So.
Oh, babe, that's a lot. That's too much.
So
Thank
that's
you.
the story of how we started as a couple, how we started the company, and just you know, who we are. You know,
A little bit of who we are.
Yeah, a little bit. The series is called Who's John, because essentially we want you to know who really John Bell is, and you're gonna know more about me, Isabella. Albert is on the next episode. Jazz is going to be on, and then our very first employee will be the last episode of the series of Who's John, and then we have some incredible guests. So stick around, subscribe, share, like. Your support is like greatly appreciated. We have no idea what we're really doing here, but we just have like this massive calling to just share what God has put in our heart, what we're doing in our city, and the things that, you know, that we really have a heart for, and that's honestly is you guys. It's the people of this community and the city that we just want to serve. So we'll see you around on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.